Like, what kind of playstyle are you looking for? I am judging you because I am a brawler person. I am the secondary guy. I am judging you, but okay. Sniping stuff. Sniping stuff in terms of battleships. I'm going for Tech 3 only. My honest advice is to start with the Yamato, because it's still a meta sniper because of the overmatch. If you don't know what overmatch is, I'm gonna explain. Because of the overmatch, and it is the one that's been in the game the longest, and it's just, if you can play Yamato as a sniper and a tanker, you can play everything. Just don't be behind everyone. You still can snipe, yes, but try to tank a bit. Don't be afraid to get shot at. It's still your job to be shot at. Of course, you can't push, but don't be behind the CV, please. Bungo is also very good at that. Other ships that can do it are definitely not Germany. The French Republic is basically that. Republic can be played like that, with iffy. Vermont is not exactly a sniper, but it's basically like that. Just more mid-range maneuverable. What is overmatch? Is that what you're asking? Okay, basically in this game, okay, I'm gonna start from here. Do you know how penetration works, roughly? Do you know how pens work for the AP in this game? Okay, very roughly, this is your armor. If my mouse is an AP shell, you have angles that they, like, let's say the AP pens 350 millimeter. If it goes, I'm gonna try to do it like that. If it goes straight on like 90 degrees towards the armor, and the armor is like 340, because we have 350 millimeter of pen, we're gonna pen this. However, if you're slightly angled, then two things start to happen. First, we can bounce because the angle is too great and the shell can just bounce. And second, the armor gets thicker because it gets angled. Like my phone. If the shell goes like that, it's once. Like, this is roughly like a finger wide, okay? Finger deep, whatever you want to say it. But if it's angled, it suddenly increases. Okay, that kind of looks wrong, out of context, but you get what I mean. It increases, so you get more armor to pen. And yeah, it's not gonna pen. And then where we go to the overmatch. I know I'm going from a bit further away, but I just want you to understand the basics of this game. If your angle is too steep, like this steep, and the armor is thick enough, you're just gonna bounce. You're not even gonna try to even pen. You're just gonna bounce. That's why you're gonna start hearing improved pen angles and different improved pen angles into this game when it comes to ships. And what overmatch is, if the shell itself, or like the gun itself, is big enough, your AP just disregards that. And Yamato has 460 millimeters, and 460 millimeters can overmatch 32, and this is 32. So a Yamato doesn't care if you're gonna be penning it that way or that way. It can literally go straight from the nose, like straight from here, ignore any angles. It's just gonna ignore angles, kind of like HE does, and go in. That's it. That's why it's important. That's why it's important. Also, to you and to everyone that hasn't watched them, even if you're a veteran or like play the game for 3-4 years, there is on the official YouTube channel, I'm just gonna show it, and it's very good. You need to watch this. Ignored my feed. Yesterday I was googling dinosaur shit. Okay, do you see this? This is important. Basically, these are videos explaining the mechanics of this game. You need basically to watch all of them. Where was it? Spotting, fire, sap, AA guns, torpedoes, ballistics. I think it was ballistics. Armor. Oh, there we go. Very good picture.
You already know from the previous episodes of how it works, how armor-piercing shells deal damage.
Okay, I don't think I do, but
in order to deliver their harmful payload to a ship's vital compartments, they need to penetrate the armor first. In today's episode,
these are very good.
How the armor works and how to penetrate it the right way.
Oh, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you very much. Do you want us to watch it, or just... I'm gonna give you the links for sure to everyone in the chat. These are very amazing videos.
Its mass and the shell-to-armor incidence angle affect armor penetration. However, a ship's armor is a complex...
While you watch that for a second, I'm gonna go a toilet break.
The multi-layered armor structure is the...
Everyone wins.
...of the armor in World of
Everyone wins. Be right back.
Now let's demonstrate this with an example. New York fires an armor-piercing 356mm shell, causing 10,000 damage to the side of Fuso from a distance of 18 kilometers. The armor penetration of this shell at such a distance is 204mm. At the point of impact, the shell will meet 19mm anti-torpedo protection, a 203mm casemate armor belt, and finally a 99mm citadel armor deck. In total, 321mm.
When a shell hits armor, several checks are made. The first of them is the 14.3 caliber rule. If the armor is thinner at the impact point than a shell caliber divided by 14.3, then the shell won't ever bounce off the armor, regardless of the angle of incidence. Then, the penetration check starts. The anti-torpedo protection, of course, doesn't stand a chance. But these 19mm did their job and reduced the armor penetration of the shell. 204 minus 19 equals 185.
All the checks have to be done again for each of the following armor layers. The 14.3 caliber rule doesn't work with 203mm. Next, the second check applies, the ricochet calculation. If the incidence angle is from 0 to 30 degrees, it's 100% a ricochet. If the incidence angle is from 31 to 45 degrees, the probability of a ricochet is reduced. And finally, if the incidence angle is from...
Okay, I'm back and we're on the good stuff.
A ricochet is practically impossible, and the armor penetration check starts. By the way, we should note that British cruisers and American 203mm cruiser guns have sharper ricochet angles. A ricochet is impossible, even at 30 degrees.
Yeah, this is the improved pen angles that we talked about.
New York shells have two possible future outcomes. If there's no ricochet, then the remaining 185mm of the armor penetration...
Yes, how to penetrate it the right way is a very nice one.
...millimeters of anti-torpedo protection won't penetrate the 203mm of Fuso's casemate armor belt. The shell will detonate and it won't do any damage.
Literally yesterday we had to talk about that. I do not remember who it was. I think it was you, Matium, asking if this makes damage. And yeah, this is how you know. Watch this and the majority of the answers are gonna be here. This is very good. Not only for like new players to understand the base mechanics, I would say for new players this is mandatory, but even for experienced players, I myself, when I watched through all of them, I did find stuff that I didn't know. Not much about how, let's say, what an overmatch is or overpen, but how, let's say, fire prevention works. I didn't really know exactly how the like percentage were stacking.
Because the explosion occurs in the anti-torpedo protection that is specifically designed to prevent damage to a ship.
The second outcome. The shell hits Fuso's side at a sufficiently sharp angle, bounces off, then hits the 19 millimeters of anti-torpedo protection again, penetrates it according to the 14.3 caliber rule, and falls.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And when to use AP or HE? Roughly, if you're in a battleship, you use AP most of the time. The only times you don't use AP is when another battleship is very close to you and angled, and you have good HE. But especially if you're trying something like Yamato, in Yamato, unless you're firing on a destroyer, and you're certainly firing on a destroyer, you're always going to use AP. Always. Literally always. That's why Yamato is easier. You just use AP on like 95% of the time, 99 even. That's just how it works. Ooh. Pretty default. Thank you, Casper. Casper was taken. Oh no. Yeah, basically. This is for battleships. If you're... There are some caveats to that, but you're gonna understand them when you get better at the game. Like Conqueror, for example, is a bit the other way because it is better with HE. And if you play a cruiser, doesn't matter if it's... unless it's like a super heavy one. But even then, like a rule of thumb for cruisers with good guns, like 200 millimeter and above, that do not go primarily for HE, are if it's a battleship and a cruiser, and they're mid to close range, broadside, like if you're here literally like that, broadside, you see the ship like that, not like that. Like you're here and you see the ship like that, basically. This is the broadside. You fire AP. And if it's a destroyer or a battleship and a cruiser angled towards you, so your AP can't pan, you just use HE. This is a rule of thumb. And with time and experience, this is where experience walk in, you're going to understand when to exactly use HE, when to use AP. They're like more advanced techniques that you're going to use AP to destroy guns and target specific modules or points into the hull that you can pan, but this is way too early to even begin explaining. Thunder is very good at HE, not only sometimes. On Thunder, most of the time use HE unless good opportunity for AP. But yeah, go watch all of them. You don't need to watch them all in one sitting, even though they're like 40 minutes to 1 hour, something like that. They're not that long. What difference? You mean overpens? Do you need me to explain that, call me Bart? Okay, if you know that, then it's fine. Like, walls is very simple game, but at the same time it's deceptively simple. Where War Thunder is way harder and deceptively harder, because like walls is simple, but it's a way like a bit more complex than you think it is. Like if you want to be good. And War Thunder is complex, but if you want to be good, it's way more complex. It's kind of like that, which is funny and harsh at the same time. Okay, Cutie Kate, are we here? Let's do some giveaways in the meantime. Yes, but do you know how to citadel someone? Do you know where to roughly aim? Salfa, it's way too early, man. It's way too early to explain different types of armor and why you can, like, what is spaced armor and why something is too thin. I need to explain that the shells have like arming time, which results in arming distance, so some ships are just too narrow and the shell passes through them before it explodes. Like, that's too complex. One at a time. If you just dump a lot of information at once, you're gonna literally do the opposite of helping. The player just gets confused, and majority of what you say is not gonna be understood and not gonna happen. Okay, basically, it's not just under second turret or water wine. I mean, yes, that's where you aim, but the question is why you aim there. Also, let's do that. Ah, Shy, congrats. Okay, basically, this is your citadel. This is what you hit in order to score a citadel. Do you see that? Yes, it is water wine. Also, this also counts as the citadel. So that's why you hit under turrets. Let's go to something else, like Jinan, which is a cruiser. Do you see? Look, now under these two turrets, which is a shitty module, by the way, that just float in nothingness, but let's pretend this is not the case. This is your citadel. This right here is your citadel. This, if you hit this box, and this is important, and the shell explodes into this box, not only just hit it or pen it, it needs to explode inside. It's a citadel. My stream is 1440p unless Twitch is angry and has walked you out.